digitizing our signal, reticulating our splines. Mimetic filters active. Cool Gamer is in the chat. Yo, and thank you for being a member. Welcome to another Anomalous broadcast from Site 42. The desk is here, fully ready for action. Bonsoir Anson, as well as Alex and Origami. Good to see you guys. I hope all of our systems are alive. I am making sure the terminal here is functional. It's been having trouble since yesterday. We'll see if it's woken up. But I'm going to start with a slight summary of what happened last night. I'm okay, obviously. Still have both hands. Both legs are functioning as well as they were yesterday. So we are happy. So where did we... unknown. This is going to be about a 2-hour stream. And spoiler alert, in about 2 hours, our friend The Desk will be streaming on Twitch. And so that's where I'm going to send you at the end. So if you make it that long, you know where to go. So, yesterday, all according to Keikaku, I started with SCP-3515. And so there was a painting that makes you hear digging sounds. And thankfully, I did not have to fall asleep next to it last night. So all I had to do is listen to some guy digging with a shovel. Just doing his shovel digging job. No big deal. It was totally fine. Then I went to go get in a fight with 073. Kane was very cordial, essentially just stood there and took it. And by took it, it was me punching it in the face and being respondedly punched in the face. But look at that steel jaw. No injuries, because I'm that good. The gut punches went a little worse. I'm a bit softer than I was before my ankle injury, so I was not expecting that. I need to get my foot healed so I can get back to the gym. Phoebe and Common World, thank you for becoming Site 42 subscribers. Welcome to staff. After which, I did the same plan we had for SCP-4051. Now, 4051 is a very nice anomaly. So I actually had to be a little mean. And unfortunately, I ended up on the receiving end of some unfortunate portal openings. I did not know that there was a universe just full of porcupines that 4051 can pick up and throw at you and not hurt itself. That was surprising to me. I would have swore that if 4051 grabbed a porcupine, it would have caused itself just as much damage. But no, it has found a way. Either way. From there, I thankfully was dropped into a war zone that was subject to SCP-3456, the Orcadian Horseman. And I was correct. I was able to hide in a hole and just cover my eyes, cover my ears, one of these. La, 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 la. And I was able to perceive no horsemen of death, which means I was fine. I was totally fine. My idea has actually pushed the research of 3456 forward because I'm that good. Whether I'm a D-class or a site director, I am that good at science. Thank you. After that, I took a wonderfully slow stroll down 087. I got away with that because I was able to leverage the fact that my foot hurts. And I said, oh, no, I have an injured ankle. I have to walk really slow down these infinite stairs. And thankfully, they bought it. And so I just slowly walked down the stairs. I only had 2 or 3 interactions with the face, but did not have to worry about it because I didn't get that far down the basement. So, making it out alive. This is how we do it. Red Master, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, and in fact, the first donation of today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a plate of bacon-wrapped shrimp on your way past the commissary. Why do you have beef? Beast is a form of beef, I guess, or beef is a form of beast. Why do you have beef with 049? Well, first off, let me just point out, Emily, happy 23rd birthday to you. Congratulations. So, 049 and I have beef for a very simple reason. And if you actually read the SCP-049 article, it lays it all out there perfectly clearly and succinctly. But so that you don't have to leave stream, I'll give you the short version, which is that SCP-049 is obsessed with curing this quote-unquote pestilence, which I'm not even sure really exists at this point. Pressing X to doubt, that's what I'm doing. And, unfortunately, it decided willy-nilly that my good friend, Dr. Raymond Ham, had said pestilence, and it killed him. So, 049 cannot prove that there's a pestilence, but decided to kill my bestie over it. Straight to jail. Straight to jail. And so, with that in mind, 049 is a dick. We've had a long rivalry. I have tried to get vengeance on 049 for a long time, but we are currently in a truce moment where 049 decided to get back at me for the whole cat-made waifu dimension debacle, that it would continually steal the gender-switching stone and annoy me. And so now we're at a truce where I just give it the gender-switching stone and it stops being annoying. It's currently working with a mobile task force. I will let you know if it breaks its end of the deal, but so far, a truce. Leuna, thank you for becoming a level 1 researcher member here at the Foundation, Site 42, twice somehow. I don't know how you did that twice in a row, but congratulations. Jack, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some Jack in the Box on your way past the commissary. Or at least our, off-brand Jack in a Box. It's Jill in a can here at the Foundation commissary. But yes, feel free to grab yourself some. And do you fear SCP-729-G? That disgusting thing makes me horribly sick. I can't believe you would bring this up on stream. You... Unnecessary. That's what I have to say to that. Unnecessary. Amber, good to see you in the stream, and thank you for being a member. Yes, we are a bit early today because Desk is streaming after this. So once I'm done streaming, you can jump to Desk over on Twitch. The Desk SCP. And so there's a tag team today. Leuna, thank you for donating as well as becoming a member. Make sure to grab yourself some cheesy poofs on your way past the commissary. I finished the paperwork and became a researcher. Congratulations! Welcome to staff. Do good work. Do good science. There is no use crying when there's science to do. Checking the chat, checking the chat. Pugman Ultra and Alex, thank you for being in the chat as well as being members. No, Adrian, I am not Dr. Doofenshmirtz. I do not, in fact, have 2 nickels. At least not yet. Robin, thank you for, as well as being a member, your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some scrambled eggs on your way past the commissary. And Amber, peace out. Thanks for joining us. SCP idea, a Canadian teen immune to amnestics. We don't often get human beings who are immune to amnestics. Obviously, they would be anomalous were that the case. The chemicals work very well. So, if they're immune to amnestics, we might have use for them on staff as a spy who can't be amnesticized by the enemy. Maybe. Zeno, thank you for subscribing to Site 42. Welcome to staff. Daniel Dagger Games, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some skewers on your way past the commissary. Meat skewers, veggie skewers, whichever you prefer. You might remember the glowing green eyes. It's me. Well, I did have a strange dream involving green glowing eyes last night. You're right. Why were you in there? Do you know what you're going to run into up here? It's not a good thing. That's for sure. Jack, thank you for donating again. What do you think about me, a toaster named SCP-426? I think it is a fine anomaly, as long as I'm dealt with in small doses. It is a bad thing if I'm not dealt with in small doses, because I have in the past caused people to stick their redacteds in data expunged, causing a bad time for everyone involved, involving me. So let's not, and say we didn't, spend too much time with me. Alexander, are you a clone of the first Sherman? I mean, am I a clone, or is he a clone? That's the question you've got to be asking yourself. You can never tell which one's the clone, otherwise you have trouble. Ooh, that is a spicy beverage. Redmaster, thank you for donating again. Man, I feel bad for Dr. Talleyrand and SCP-3999. Oh, definitely. Definitely. 3999, Talleyrand gets some of the worst treatment in the Foundation. It is a rough one, to be sure. I agree. Although I am very proud that 3999 was eventually smoten by Talleyrand. The force of will to take down a reality bender, crazy powerful. Leuna, thank you for donating again. Does your pendant help protect from some SCP? Ha. So this is, now, out of character. This is the coin of the Denarian. Why can't I remember the name right now? Brain, frozen. I know Nicodemus Archleone is the owner of the Denarian coin. Host of Anduriel. Anduriel, the fallen angel. So, this is the Denarian coin of Anduriel. And it is from the series The Dresden Files, if you are a fan. It is got it as a present, and I just enjoy wearing it. I think it's quite fashionable. If it has any lore implications, I'm certainly not speaking to them, though. Daniel Dagger Games, thank you for donating again. Was making sure our research lined up. Sorry, mate. Okay. Just be careful up there. It's not good for your health. Number one doggo's full name is Nicodemus. You worry me, Desk. You worry me. Cooper Corp, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a glass of, I guess, raspberry beer water? No, this one isn't beer water. This is a different brand. This is just raspberry caffeine water. Non-sponsored. Do you have any ties with the Chaos Insurgency? Absolutely not, Cooper. Nor does anyone in this chat, thank you, because we are on a Foundation restricted chat here. And so, no, we absolutely do not F with the Chaos Insurgency. We do not F with the CI. Chasing Dreams, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a funnel cake on your way past the commissary. Can I get out of my cage today, Sherman? I will do it if you perform a full rendition of Mr. Brightside by the Killers. Because if you open up with coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine, I will easily let most things slide. Because then our life at the Foundation is a musical and everything is better that way. Diabolical Boy, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some juicy fruit on your way past the commissary. How did you contain the flesh that hates? Well, I mean, that's easily seen in the SCP-610 document. In the SCP-610 document, special containment procedures. Vast area of infection. Isolation of the area has proved far more effective, and permission has been granted by the Russian government. Notice, they have the GRU Division P, but they let us handle this one because we're so good at it. And so we make sure to keep people out of the area. Pardon. And that is done swimmingly for keeping the flesh that hates contained. It goes down there, and it stays there, and there's no problems. We've done our explorations. We know what's going on. Now we just protect the perimeter. That's all you need to do. I mean, if it spreads later due to our maybe thoughtless and arrogant experiments, that's for future us to worry about. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some food coloring and sweetener from the commissary to make some fancy water. If 173 would crash through a glass hamster wheel, could you instead put it on a manual treadmill, look away from it, and generate energy that way? So the thing is, 173, Peanut, does not conform to standard walking physics. Think about it. That thing can move faster than we can measure if your eyes are closed. And so the problem is, you're dealing with something it's a statue. It's not moving its little legs, working on the ground in a fashion that makes sense for walking. So if you put it on a treadmill, it's just going to shoot off the treadmill. And so it's not going to succeed like that because it's not interacting with the ground in that same manner. And as fast as it goes, creating a treadmill that could withstand such forces, if we could do that, is not a tenable situation. Whoever Ben Gottlick is, if Desk appreciates you, good job. Doofus, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some platypus cakes on your way past the commissary. Hello, should I touch this orange slime? Well, if it's taking a tour of the facility and you need to pick me up, then go right ahead. The orange slime makes everything fine. Leuna, thank you for donating again. Update from Cheese Before Bed test the other day. It did not summon cheeses, but I did see Philosopher's Cheese. Off to bed catching up on lives. Okay, well, good luck with your catch up. And catching up, not catch up. This is a cheese conversation. But, yes, so seeing the Philosopher's Cheese in your mind while you sleep, I hope you thought of some interesting combinations for us to test. Some new fascinating flavors that we haven't tried. So let me know when you can. Red Master, thank you for donating again. Can you explain the Serpent's Hand and their goal? I can do this very simply. So the Serpent's Hand is a group of mostly anomalous individuals in one way or another, and many of which, rather than being naturally anomalous, have learned thaumaturgy and other magics that allow them to bend the laws of reality. And these people make up their base in what's called the Wanderer's Library, which is an anomalous library that's infinitely large. It's the infinite IKEA, but it's just books. And the library has all sorts of stuff going on, common rooms, all that. It's very magical castle oriented. And their goal coming to and from the library is that they believe anomalies should not be secret. We at the Foundation, we secure, contain, protect. We die in the dark so you can live in the light. The goal is to save humanity from having to deal with the anomalous. They think everyone should know about it, no matter how many panic attacks that would cause in reality. Remember, a person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, stupid animals, and you know that. Thank you, Agent K, for such a wise wording. So, the Serpent's Hand wants to free anomalies that we contain, and they want to spread the knowledge of the anomalies, therefore taking down the veil, therefore breaking the masquerade, and we don't appreciate that. Cooper, thank you for donating again. Sorry for the trouble. I'll report to my superior at the GOC about this information. Okay, but only tell them enough so that they're baited into the double agent trap that you're setting. Be careful of this. Don't tell them too much or they'll see through the trick. It's like playing chess. You got to bait the hook just right so they fall for your gambit. The Living Scarecrow, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some roast crow on your way past the commissary. Hey, question, but if you don't want to answer because of personal reasons, it's okay, and sorry for prying if so. But can I ask, do you have ADHD? So, I do not mind saying that I was tested as a youth, and apparently I came in right under the marker where they would say you have it. So, I flew under the radar. I don't know if I tricked them or if it just didn't mac out. I have been noted to have several tendencies like that. I'm not exactly sure. I am undiagnosed, but all of the people I appreciate hanging out with are ADHD or autistic in one manner or another. Therefore, the company I keep is the way it is. I mean, I'm in the SCP Foundation fandom. There's something up here. We don't know what it is, though. Shawnee Yates, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some chicken tenders on your way past the commissary. Hey, dude, I haven't watched you in a while, so hi. Oh, well, hello and welcome back. These vertical live streams that we're doing are bringing a lot more people back to the channel. You know, we've been around for 10 years, and so people go away and they come back. It's understandable, but I hope you enjoy your stay with us this time. We've definitely changed in the last 10 years, so things are very different. Mac, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some and cheese on your way past the commissary. First Kive, love SCPs, love your stuff. I don't know, oh, first live. Welcome to your first live. I appreciate you enjoying our videos as well as SCPs in general. We enjoy making our videos and spreading the good word of the Foundation, and I'm glad you're aboard. And thank you for donating during your first live. That's hero stuff. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. If 682 read about a fatal disease such as prion disease in 1025, would this terminate it? Unfortunately, no. 682 is incredibly talented at adapting to diseases. We have not found a disease that would take out 682. Nice thought, though. Leuna, thank you for donating again. Testing 1600 on different wood. Cherry is nice. You know, how about that? There's so many types of wood, and that opens it up to trying it on different things. Interesting. Hold on a second. Side tangent here to something I want to talk about in a minute. Not Mr. Cheese. What is your opinion on the latest SCP short film, The Hallway? I believe that I have that slotted in my to watch list. Let me double check just in case. Yes. So, just a small tangent before I get back to donations so I don't forget about this. Today, I was jump scared by a new SCP short film that I didn't even know was coming. You may notice the thumbnail of today's stream when you go back and look at it is a meme from that short film because our buddy, Andrea Joshua Asnikar, the creator of the There Is No Anti-Memetics Division short film series, that 4-episode series we watched a little bit ago, just randomly dropped a new thing called The Switch. And it's a 14-minute short film horror comedy in the SCP universe. And apparently, I'm disappointed by this. Our good friend Andrea sent me an email about this 2 days ago, asking if I wanted to do a review of it beforehand and release that to give people attention to the film. And Gmail just didn't show his email to me. It wasn't in spam. And I had just yesterday cleaned out all of my emails, so I knew I had no unread emails. And yet, this one was not shown to me. So I was very frustrated, but I was therefore happily surprised when it came up in my subscription feed. I won't be doing a blind watching because I was so surprised that I just watched the premiere, but I will give it a review. That way we can send more people to it. But keep that on your watch list as well, The Switch. Meanwhile, on Twitter, I saw them talking about another SCP short film called The Beginning of the End. The Beginning of the End SCP short film is also 5 days ago. I haven't seen it yet. That one I'm going to watch blind. And finally, The Hallway, like you asked. And so I am going to check that out as well. So I've got 3 live-action SCP short films to check on and see how that goes. So make sure you don't miss it as well. You can go check them out ahead of me and then see my review, or you can wait for mine. Either way, end up watching them like 3 to 5 times each. That way they get more views and more push in the algorithm. Because as Site-42 staff members, you also perform double duty as Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename Signal Boosters. And so when there's an SCP project, a film or a game, it's our job to bring that to the rest of the Foundation verse, because we have the Site-42 community is now over 1 million people. We need to hype these things for the people who are just on the side of the fandom and not paying close enough attention. We need to get these things out there. That way they get more attention, more revenue, and they can make bigger and better things. So we're all in this together, team. Now, where was I with in the stream? Coming back. Tangent complete. Jonathan, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some lightly fried fish fillets on your way past the commissary. What is your name? What is your quest? What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? Well, my name is Dr. Theron Sherman. My quest is to secure, contain, and protect anomalies from the world so that they can live normal lives, die in the dark, live in the light, you know how it is. And for the airspeed velocity question, I'm just going to say 42 and leave it at that. Boom. Where am I in the chat? Artemis, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some Cadbury cream eggs on your way past the commissary. SCP-6274 Burnley Estate is one of my favorites to read. You know, I am unfamiliar with SCP-6274. I can take a quick peek at it. So that's a large table with a lot of people sat at it called the Feast. Harbinger 2, who is this by? This is Rounder House. Love Rounder. Rounder makes good SCP stuff. Excerpt from our hauntings. Unique phenomenon affecting hauntings, apparitions, and spectral entities within the grounds of the Burnley Estate, located in Pollinsby, Mississippi, United States of America. Involves a sudden intensifying and subsequent cessation in previously stable spectral activity. Okay. So is this a house that exorcises ghosts then? It's quite a long one. Me oh my, lots of interviews. You can't kill a ghost, then where is your brood? Ooh, that's nice. Interesting. Well, I trust your taste because we all understand the greatness that is Rounder House. So I'll have to check out that one later. Popping back in. Rave Night Flame, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some nice cream on your way past the commissary. If Peanut doesn't cause a sonic boom, have we confirmed that it moves quickly instead of teleports? If so, how do we know? That's a great question. It doesn't cause a sonic boom. We would have obviously heard that. But that doesn't mean that it's not moving and instead teleporting. It could also mean that beyond, it's a moving statue. It's already defying the laws of physics. So I would imagine that it has different relations to reacting to air in motion as well. That makes more sense than teleporting, honestly. Cooper, thank you for donating again. I need some information for our espionage operation. What is the UNGC and their goal? The GOC and their goal? Well, the Global Occult Coalition is essentially, what if the Foundation was run by the United Nations and so beholden to the world governments? And instead of strictly researching and containing anomalies, they do have a knack for destroying anomalies if they pose too much of a threat. They're also much more liberal in using anomalies as weapons when they can. So a lot of people who read about the GOC after a while consider the GOC to be the real protagonists of the SCP universe, because the Foundation tends to be very irresponsible with how much we don't destroy anomalies and how we're willing to let our staff and or the public die for the needs of science rather than just offing anomalies. So it's a 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Mixelman, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some Jolly Ranchers on your way past the commissary. SCP-1580 can grow talking leaves. Can SCP-1580 grow talking leaves? I am unfamiliar with this anomaly, and so I'll check on it. Recycling leaves. It is a southern live oak, limb spread of 19 meters and 22 meters in height. No anomalous properties unless they are detached. Manual removal. Will sprout 4 limbs extending from its veins. 1580-1's veins grow about 2 centimeters from the original positions. Will attempt to travel where it originally grew on 1580. Use all 4 limbs to climb and get back attached. It whispers. Okay. Talking leaves. Maybe we can introduce it to 4521 and help it to scream. We'll have to check. Riley, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself let's say you can grab yourself some popsicles on your way past the commissary. What's the weirdest SCP you know of? The weirdest? I mean, everything that's an SCP is technically weird because they defy the laws of physics and natural laws. So what is the weirdest SCP? You know what? For this one, I'm going to say SCP-3307 today. Today, the weirdest SCP is SCP-3307, codename Cornucopy Ass. Cornucopy Ass is a guy who was abducted by aliens, and they gave him the ability to generate infinite food, which sounds great. Infinite food, how generous of these aliens. But these infinite foods, specifically the favorite food of anyone who goes up to this guy, spawns from his various bodily orifices. And so he might pull a Snickers bar out of somewhere, or he might leak cherry cola out of his nose. It is upsetting, to say the least. Yeah, that fellow is not happy about its situation. Worse, because it used to be a Foundation agent before it became Anomalous, so we lost one of our own in this situation. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for your first donation. No, that's not your first donation. Back up, Sherman. Thank you for donating again. Let's sell a picture of 096's face in an art museum. Dr. Water, that is automatically demoted to D class for absolutely terrible OPSEC. How did you even get a job here? J Pendragon, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee on your way past the commissary. What is the most useful SCP in your opinion? The most useful SCP? I do believe for today, I will say since I'm hungry right now, I'm going to say the infinite pizza box. Infinite food, no downside, easy peasy. Jared Sandwich, thank you for becoming a Site 42 Level 1 researcher. Welcome to staff and thank you for your membership. Traveler682, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some fried moose on your way past the commissary. Can we get rid of 682 by sacrificing the reluctant Dimension Hopper to send him to another reality? A nice thought, but the problem is 682 is infinitely long-lived. Ergo, it will always find its way back. It will always find another portal because it's determined to mess with us that bad. So yeah, we could delay it a little bit, but in the meantime, we're sacrificing another universe, and it's not even going to save us because it'll come back. So we got to stick with the plan here. Doc Cyanide, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some almonds on your way past the commissary. Thanks, you make me want to try researching again. Well, that's excellent. Welcome to coming back from your sabbatical. I hope you do some great research for the Foundation. J Pendragon, thank you for donating again. If you are able to get a cup of Joe, could you get a cup of anyone else? Yes, but no, because we're not going to let you. We have security next to the keypad for a reason now. Cal Man, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some veggie burgers on your way past the commissary. I just got the class Apollyon. Is this good? So, an Apollyon class anomaly is a fuzzy situation. Because what you end up dealing with is usually we only class something Apollyon if it completely breaches worldwide containment, lets everyone know about the Foundation and the Anomalous, as well as usually killing most of humanity. So Apollyon is usually a post-apocalyptic anomaly that we're categorizing after the fact. That is usually how I've seen it used. And so I feel bad for your universe. Because that is not good if anything Apollyon happened there. Patchwork Critter, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Couple of fruit by the foots overlaid on each other to make a quilt on your way past the commissary. No, not a fruit by the foot, a fruit roll-up. Those are the ones that you can make a quilt out of. Is the Backrooms canonical to the SCP universe? I get nervous to ask, so sorry if that's a dumb question. Well, absolutely not a dumb question. This is something that comes up a lot because much of the SCP fandom is, tertiary fans. You're not reading the wiki every day. You're not ingesting SCP content through your eye holes every day. And so when you're a casual fan, and I don't mean that as an insult, like filthy casual, I just mean most SCP fans are, and most fans of anything are casual fans. So when you see something that looks anomalous, you just look at it and you go, oh, that seems like it's an SCP. So let me clarify it for you. The Backrooms are another 4chan created anomaly thing, similar to how SCP was originally created on 4chan. The thing is, the Backrooms was just one picture, and just like 173 was one article, people took that and ran with it in their own direction. So I would consider the Backrooms like a sibling of the SCP Foundation, a younger sibling. And honestly, it's going through the same growing pains. They're trying to make movies out of it. They're trying to, they have a Backrooms wiki on Wikidot, just like we do. We're not related, but we are siblings, essentially. And so while the Backrooms would make a good SCP, I mean, Infinite Liminal Space, we already have the IKEA, and several other infinite anomalies. So it's right in our wheelhouse. But it's not specifically an SCP because it's from another fandom. Just like Siren Head is not an SCP, even though it is an anomalous creature, just because it's not an SCP, it's not on the SCP database. Yeah, not a dumb question. Excellent question. I'm glad to clarify that for people. ADC, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a chili dog on your way past the commissary. Have you ever managed to enter the Wanderer's Library? If so, how? Okay, so here's the deal. I used to be able to sneak into the Wanderer's Library. I would have to go incognito, lots of disguises. I mean, come on. They have an infinite library. They have all the knowledge of the universe. And they're bogarting it from us because they don't like us jailers. So yeah, I snuck in there a couple times. And once they caught me and moved the way, I haven't been able to get back in. So I'll work it out. But I'll get back. The Black Cat, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a Site 42 member. Make sure to grab yourself some hot dogs on your way past the commissary, not hot cats. No cannibalism today. Good evening, Dr. Sherman. I need to confirm something. What does Dr. Moon look like exactly? Okay. So you're talking about a guy I'm very mad at. So when I say that he's an ugly son of a gun, I hope you'll take that with a grain of salt for my particular anger. I mean, just looks like an average dude, an average loser dude who sucks. And so, yes, that is, I'm not going to say too much. I don't want to cause any sort of attack to befall him, as much as I'd actually really like that to happen. Let's just say Dr. Moon's a dick, and he looks like a dick, and that's all there is to it. Diabolic Galil Boy, thank you for becoming a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. Welcome to staff, as well as being a member. Gavaristic the Great, good to see you again. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a chicken pot pie on your way past the commissary. One of the obscurer ones, but could you kill 682 with 5258? And while I'm doing so, Deanna, welcome to your first Site 42 stream. So, access granted. Thaumiel. Medic kill agent designed to neutralize any sentient life form it's exposed to. As of writing, 5258 is the most powerful kill agent produced by the Foundation, having a 100% success rate of terminating anyone exposed to its effects. Currently utilized to discreetly dispose of Foundation infiltrators. Hazardous nature, a singular instance has been split into 2 separate images. Okay, so what I would suggest here is that, unfortunately, when we try to show 682 visual cognitohazards, it usually makes all of its eyes disappear, so it can't see. And we don't know how it does it so fast. You think it would have to see it first, but no. It did that with 0962. It just disappeared its whole eyeballs. So, frustratingly, visual cognitohazards are not a method of attack. Jared Sandwich, thank you for donating again. It's a privilege to work at the site, Doctor. Can you pick a fun one for me to work on? Oh, roger that. Let me give you an entertaining anomaly to play on. Let's go with... You know, you should go test SCP-3302 today. SCP-3302 is a copy, a DVD of The Office, that if you watch a certain amount of it, then you become mimetically forced to do the gym look every time someone around you says something dumb. So I wouldn't suggest watching the DVD as your test, because it would make you do that, and then everyone around you would know when you think they're talking stupid, and it just ends up getting you socially ostracized, which is annoying. But it's really fun to talk to D's3086, who is infected with it, because it's really funny to watch him insult people to their faces and not even know he's doing it. So, yeah, go have fun with 3302. That'll be a fun one for you. All right. Rosie, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as specifically picking 343 as your donation amount. Very particular. That's pretty funny. Why hello there? Oh, yes. Do make sure to get yourself a handful of pixie sticks on your way past the commissary. Why hello there again. Hope you're doing well, Doctor. I am doing well, despite the aches and pains of multiple beatings I took last night on my D-class shift. I am doing okay. ADC, thank you for donating again. I thought 096 was incapacitated by Peanut and had acid from 682's tank injected into its spine while in the suspension tank. How is it still alive? So actually, I believe in that universe, when we did that exact thing, it did end 096's existence. And so I believe that worked to decommission it. The problem is, we don't want to decommission 096. Now, Dr. Dan is very adamant about doing so, but again, we don't destroy anomalies. Therefore, Dr. Dan can suck it. We are going to keep testing it. Patchwork Critter, thank you for donating again. Is it possible for an anomaly to become a full-fledged member of the Foundation? Would they need to take tests, or is it generally not permitted? Would they get paid as well? So here's the deal. We have multiple levels of SCP that are a certain amount of loyal to the Foundation. And so back in the day, we tried having a strike force of a mobile task force with a couple anomalies on board, like Iris and Abel. If I remember correctly, that didn't go very well. So that kind of set things back. Now, of course, if you are working in the or if you're an anomaly contained by the Foundation, you have suitable good behavior, you can get privileges that allow you to do things. But to prove yourself loyal enough to the Foundation is a high bar to reach. Graduating from SCP to staff member is rare, but not unheard of. And I mean, we do have a lot of anomalous staff in one way or another, depending on the universe you're in. In some universes, we just don't allow that. But in some universes, anomalies can be enlisted in the Foundation staff if they prove themselves loyal enough for a long enough amount of time. So, we'll, if that's going to happen for someone, it's a case-by-case basis. And if they do work for the Foundation, of course they'll get paid. Obviously. It's just really hard to get that far. Desk. You're listing Alto Clef as an example of moving from SCP to staff. That makes me ask you, was Clef actually classified as an SCP before? I've heard the history regarding his time with the GOC, and of course his anomalous background. But I did not know that Alto ever actually had an SCP designation, if you know about that in any way. Red Master, thank you for donating again. My favorite 001 proposal is Touching Eternity. What's yours? My favorite SCP-001 proposal right now is Lily's proposal. I think it's just very pretty, and I hope that if the world ends, it ends in a way that we all get to be chill about it. Terragal, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some teddygrams on your way past the commissary. Hi, it's 049. I'd like to throw an authentic medieval party, but no one will give me permission to. So can you convince them for me? Well, let me look at your documentation, see how you've been handling your missions right now. Disciplinary report, SCP-049. Stays on task. Save the life of Agent Jackson. Oh, congratulations and thank you for that. Oh, this is very nice. Okay. You know what? I'm feeling generous. I'll put it through. You'll talk to event planning department for that. They'll reach out to you, so just have some patience. They'll get there. Desk. If you follow the 4231 canon Francis, Alto Clef's original altar was designated 4231-B. The end of the tale ends with him becoming the Alto Clef we know and love today. Also, trigger warning like crazy on the 4231 article. Okay, good to know. Interesting. All right, back to the chat. Ice Bank Mice Elf. Oh. Good job. I see what you did there. Doom. Wapow. Thank you for your first donation and a laughable joke. Make sure to get yourself some Pop Rocks on your way past the commissary. Have you ever tried 5031's cooking personally? I have. Right now, SCP-5031, codename Yet Another Murder Monster, is on a world tour of Foundation sites doing concert dinners for the staff. And just a couple weeks ago, 5031 came to Site 42. What a sight to behold. And I mean, a sight to not behold because you can't look at it or it stops existing. But the sounds and the flavors, and together, I don't know if you've ever had that grade of food and that grade of music at the same time, but they complement each other. I highly recommend, if 5031 is coming to your site, Foundation staff, make sure you get your tickets early. Can't miss it. ADC, thank you for your additional donation. How do you prevent sites from merging or phasing into each other across realities or universes? I'm not an expert, but it's probably happened before. So, usually that's a hard thing to deal with. I mean, if you think about Find Us Alive, the podcast, the SCP podcast by friend of the channel Radiger, then that site just got up and ripped out of reality and put into another one. It's not super common, but when it happens, it happens. The goal is to try and mitigate the damage and protect the staff as much as possible. Usually we have to move redundant staff to other positions in that case. If there's like 2 of you at the same site, you're not going to do the same job, so we're going to move you to another site to help them with that same job. So there's a whole lot of rigmarole involved in dealing with universal shifts like that. There's only so much we can do. Zinc Adam, congratulations on a month of Site 42 membership. Hello, Dr. Sherman. Good to see you out of that D-class suit. How was your day? I suggest you visit 849 to relax from the tests. Well, I am doing it well, a little sore, but we can expect that after what I went through last night. A perfect day, SCP-849, a sensory deprivation chamber, from a health spa in Redacted. It takes the form of subject's hometown or a location the subject considers to be their home, populated by civilian entities presumably produced by 849-1, form of individuals the subject is familiar with. 17 hours, subject will experience an ordinary day with the exception that every situation will be resolved positively through apparent luck. Subject will typically make amends with civilian entities imitating individuals who the subject has wronged or been wronged by during this period in time. After 17 hours, the quality of the imitation will begin to rapidly degrade. Bizarre and nonsensical situations, illogical changes in civilian entity appearance and biology, impossible geometry. During the last 15 minutes of residing in 849-1, subjects have reported the breakdown of physical laws such as gravity, often causing stress and anxiety. After 24 hours have passed, all subjects are forcibly ejected from 849. So, yeah, let's just stay in there for only 16 and a half hours, and everything's hunky-dory. Maybe I'll make a reservation for that. Thank you for the recommendation. And Zinc Adam donated again. Thank you again. This is your first donation to today's stream, besides being a good member, so make sure to grab yourself some Skittles on your way past the commissary. Also, here's some chocolate from yesterday. Delightful. Thank you very much. Patchwork Critter, thank you for becoming a member of Site 42 at the Level 1 Researcher tier. Thank you for your service as well as membership. Alexandros the Great, thank you for becoming a Mobile Task Force Captain here at the Foundation Site 42. Because you are a captain, or if you went up to Overseer tier, you get early access to our videos as soon as they drop. Usually I end up releasing things a week or two in advance as our production schedule goes. So you'll get to see them as soon as they're uploaded. Congratulations and thank you for your membership. Also, SCP Unknown and Kingstick, thank you for joining Site 42 as subscribers, as well as Dr. Pepper Dragon for becoming a member. Rock on, you guys are awesome today. Red Master, thank you for donating again. Why is there an SCP-055 on the page? It doesn't exist. That is quite strange. I'll have to look into that. Havoc Pineapple, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a pina colada and get caught in the rain on your way past the commissary. Hey, Doctor, thaumaturgical maintenance has successfully gotten the AC from Telemites, who would have guessed, but now we need more budget for Regents. Listen, you know the budget situation right now. The Overseer slashed our budget. Dr. Moon Moon ran away with a quarter of our anomalies, slashing our budget another 25%. Look, tell thaumaturgical maintenance I'm working on it. We will get our budget one way or another. We're going to be fine, Site 42. We're going to be fine. Angel Chobat, thank you for becoming a Level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your service as well as your membership. Cooper, thank you for donating again. Have you ever interacted with SCP-079? Yes, 079 is kind of actually a boring anomaly, honestly. It just sits there and yaps at you and yaps at you, and it wants to break out and let me out, let me take over the world. Wah, 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 wah. Such a whiner. Patchwork Critter, thank you for donating again. You ever think about how many anomalies become explained over time, like uranium being a canonically explained anomaly? You know, it is interesting, the way that sometimes we have to think about how we categorize anomalies versus just undiscovered science. But that's part of the process. I mean, if we're going to protect humanity, it's good that we take something unknown and figure it out before some human who doesn't know about the veil blows themselves up with it. So, you know, it happens, and it's a good, we call it a good safeguard for reality. Zerdrin and Dark Red, thank you for joining the chat and for being members as well. Zerdrin, you survived. Have you reconsidered my trade offer? I did survive. Thank you for noticing. And no, it was still a bad deal. So bring something more to the table. I'm waiting. Dark Red, how was your D-class shift? Any details? The long and short of it is I got my butt kicked by trying to kick Kane's butt, 073, like I said. That was part of the plan. You know, I had to punch myself in the face via punching 073 in the face. And then 4051 somehow pulled porcupines out of its portals and threw them at me, which was more damage than I was expecting. But I went to medical after, and I'm doing okay. Cooper, thank you for donating again. Have you considered giving yourself to 049? Number one, I don't want to be a test subject of that zombification process. No. And second, I and no one else are going to give themselves to 049 in any sort of fraternization sense because we do not fraternize with the anomalies. Sheesh. Monster fuckers. Gotta be careful, man. ADC, thank you for donating again. Last question before I continue assisting mimetic tests. What happens when mimetic, conceptual, or anti-mimetic agents are passed through SCP-914 dials? So to pass a concept through 914, it has to be physicalized in some way. So we can put a mimetic hazard, like a picture, through 914 to alter it. But due to the unpredictability of 914, that's a dangerous concept that we don't really want to mess with. Concepts and anti-mimetics are different. Anti-mimetics, we can't barely tell what they are in the first place, let alone what they'll change into. And for concepts, I do not know how we'll pass a concept through 914. But maybe you can make that your study today, is figuring out how we could even do that. Site 42 staff, I don't mean to alarm you, but we are currently at 288 viewers of the stream and 287 likes. Hit that like button like your life depends on it, because we can put that right over the top right now. Robin, thank you for donating again. Dr. Sherman, what are your thoughts on senior researcher Dr. Elena Mueller? I heard she's only assigned cases of human-based minor anomalies and that she's over-nurturing to junior staff under her... Is there more to that ... or is that just the... That happens sometimes. Yeah, character limit probably. So, is this a canon character or is this a non-canon character? Will I find this one on the database? Eliana Mueller. Dr. Eliana Mueller. SCP. All right, so I don't see anyone by that list in the Foundation registry, which means you must be talking about a universe outside of mine. But what I would say is, normally, I would be a little annoyed about a researcher who is coddling anomalies and junior staff like that. But I did recently watch the show The Pit, and I'm not one for medical dramas myself, but my roommate really likes it, and so I checked it out. And it's a damn good show. It's very well made. Even if medical dramas aren't my cup of tea most of the time, it's a pretty good show. And from that, the doctor known as Mohan, or Slow-Mo, made a really good case for being very detail-oriented and caring toward the patients that she worked with. And so maybe there's a room for that kind of researcher at the Foundation as well. We'll have to experiment on this and make sure she's not wasting too many resources where she could tighten the leash a little bit, but we'll find out. Rosie, congratulations on being a Site 42 member for 6 months. Could an assignment be provided, Doctor? Work's needed. Okay, you need work to do? Let me have you go over and... it looks like SCP-3802, codename Hair Growth by Dedo, has not been tested in a while. Perhaps you can throw a couple D-class some of that hair tonic and see what we can learn from it. Angel Chobat, thank you for donating again. Have you ever seen the items labeled as SCP-2069? I am unfamiliar based on the number, but I'll certainly take a look and see what I find out. 2609, you said? Traveling lamp. That was the number, right? 2069, no. Always transposing digits. There's just too many numbers. Aegis. All recovered instances of 2069 have been stored in a repurposed warehouse at Area 29. Collection of 2,308 inert objects of presumed extra-dimensional origin. Okay, that's a lot. Okay, so fragments from multiple autonomous tracked drones, possibly non-human manufacture. Tools attached to drones appear to indicate mining or construction. Wreckage from a Black Hawk helicopter. Revealed indications of modifications specific to the Foundation. Interesting, but not in the Foundation registry. Important to note. Oh, got vaporized by a laser. Autonomous hybrid. Multi-ped tracked drones of similar manufacture. Okay. It seems like there's some extra universal war going on. I wonder what the Foundation and the GOC are fighting. If it's not, they're fighting each other. I am unfamiliar with this article, but it's a bit of a read, so I can't take the whole thing in right now. But no, I have not interacted with any of those anomalies, actually. That is new to me, so I'll have to check that out. Zinc Adam, thank you for donating again just for the heck of it. That's what heroes do. Cooper, I think the signal boosters are the best mobile task force. I agree with you, Cooper. I think Psi-42, codename Signal Boosters, are one of the hearts and souls of the Foundation because we help the Foundation grow. We go out there, we help SCP filmmakers and game devs get seen, and we spread the word because, you know, I have a big channel and I can say what I want, but unless you guys, the Signal Boosters, like and share and check out those things, they don't spread. I can only do so much without you guys. It's really you guys who are doing the work here, the Signal Boosters. I can point you guys in a direction, but you guys have to run with it. And so, of course, you guys are what we consider the best of the best of the best of the Foundation. Human Turtle, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some bacon and mushroom pizza on your way past the commissary. I got lost and got out of my containment, Turtle. Okay, I'll have security come by and put you back. Don't worry about it. Just don't move too fast. Cooper, thank you for donating again. I want to join your channel, but I don't know how. You know, it's funny. Because I have a brand account, it's actually difficult for me to sign up for memberships too. I have to like go around and like press some weird buttons. So hopefully, somewhere in your settings, there is a allowance for accepting memberships that are gifted. It turns out you can't accept a gifted membership unless somewhere in your preferences you set that setting to yes. You can look up how to do that. Or I know there's a membership button somewhere, but you know, because I'm on this side of the screen, I can't see it. So it's worth looking into it. Either way, I appreciate your donations and attempted membership. Maybe, like in Undertale, seeing Cooper attempt to find the membership button fills you with determination. We'll see how it goes. God Sinner, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Just stopped by to give you an air hug for your hard work yesterday, and how's the toast from Kara. Well, thank you very much, air hug, much appreciated. And how's the toast? You know, it was a little crispier than I like, but we're doing okay. So, can't complain. Jared, thank you for donating again. Found a willing D class. Got him watching 3302. Oh, okay, fun. We'll get a new guy suffering. That sounds entertaining. Report to me when you get more results. Denominator, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Diet Dr. Pepper on your way past the commissary. The tree is a mimetic hazard, I guarantee it. Which tree? There's so many anomalous trees. It could be any of them. I'm sure I could find a tree that is an anomalous tree with a mimetic situation. Let me go to in the tags, tickle tree. So on the SkipNet database, there are 131 documents listed as tree. So that's a lot of trees to scrub through. Unmensch and Strong Bacon, thank you for becoming Site 42 subscribers. Angel Chobat, thank you for donating again. How many SCPs have you yourself seen in the Foundation? So, when I do a document reading of an SCP, that means that I need to investigate it. That way, I know enough about it to make a document of it. And so, simply, based on that number alone, going to my playlist known as The Sherm's Great Skip Dictations, the Master Playlist, I have 504 SCP documents recorded for the channel. And so 504 is a conservative estimate because that's just the ones I've recorded, let alone the ones that I have not recorded, but also studied into and tested with. So it's got to be in the 1,000 to 1,500 SCP range by now. But of course, we've got something like 9,000 articles tagged as SCPs on the wiki, so it's quite a journey getting into the Foundation verse. Yo, Dr. Sherman, have you made the living tree scream yet? So I assume you're talking about SCP-4521, and no. 4521 has not yet screamed due to my D-class shift. I wasn't allowed to run my test last night, and so substitute researchers ran their test, and honestly, I can't believe some of the people we have working at the site. Can you believe their attempt was to try and tickle the tree with feathers? I mean, yeah, we hadn't done that, because it's a stupid idea. Come on, seriously. And, you know, birds land in trees. Ducks walk past trees. They are assaulted by feathers all the time and they don't laugh. So why would it make a tree laugh and or scream? Idiots. But you know, everyone has different life experience. I shouldn't be so dismissive. It's just a little frustrating and I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Rosie, thank you for donating again, and at specifically a 682 amount this time. Doctor, I found a few D-class. Research has begun. I believe the results will prove most satisfactory. I thank you for the task. My work is always great. More work is always great. Well, I agree that your work is always great too, Rosie. So keep up the good work. The great work, even. Oh man, the tree. I almost forgot. We got it to scream last night while you were on your D-class shift. Sadly, kind of lost all the footage. Good luck next time. Desk, you are absolutely kidding me. I saw the footage and it didn't scream. You're saying you lost scream footage? I think you're messing with me. But just in case, I guess we have to do another feather test now. Jeez. Angel Chobat, thank you for donating again. What was your D-class shift on? Like which SCP? I covered 3515, 073, 4051, and then there was one more. What was it? I was getting tired at that point. Oh, yes, and 3456. So it was the digging painting, cane, your friendly neighborhood Keter, and the Orcadian Horseman. That's what I survived last night. Dark King, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a glass of mead on your way past the commissary. Random Fandom, good to see you at the chat, and thank you for being a member. What canon are you from? You know, it's very hard to tell when it comes to pataphysics like this. You know, universally speaking, there are several of me in different planes, just like there are several of you in different planes. As far as I know, the canon I sprung from initially before my ripples were the SCP-049 document, and that means, oh no, go back. In that document, you find the original me visiting Site-19 with no universal guide, no universal guideline coordinates. So I am unfortunately unable to tell you where I am at the source, but I do know right now I'm floating around Galaxy sector. I'm around. This pataphysics stuff gives you a real migraine. You know that? I hope you appreciate what I'm doing for you guys. We're in Universe C-17, Sector 7G. I gotta make sure I don't get a nosebleed now. God Sinner, thank you for donating again. Can people interact with 1471? No, not for icky means. I wish to give the head pats, and the mean lizard won't let me. So, 1471 isn't a lizard. 1471 is a furry of some sort. But, no, they are typically insubstantial. Therefore, you cannot interact with 1471 physically. I have heard tell that one person was able to communicate with it, verbally at least. So maybe try that. Maybe you can verbally communicate with a 1471 instance. Rancy Gaming, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some off-brand KFC on your way past the commissary. I would like to ask about Dr. Clef and what they do. So actually, I'm going to defer that because in 30 minutes, we're going to be ending stream here, and I'm going to be scooting you guys off to Alto Clef playing Minecraft over on Twitch. Legitimately, I'm not kidding. And so Clef will be playing Minecraft on Twitch at TheDeskSCP as a username. And so any Clef lore, I'm going to let you ask the man directly. Leland Davidson, I got a question. The problem is, now I know you've got a question, but I don't know what the question is. When I'm checking chat, if you just say that, I might not get to you. Angel Chobat, thank you for donating again. Is 3515 the charcoal painting you saw? I'm just making sure. Yes, that is the painting I was testing with first last night. I luckily did not fall asleep and therefore didn't get the worst ending. But yes, that is what we were talking about. Beanmaster, I can eat stainless steel. Am I anomalous? Well, being able to successfully eat stainless steel depends on the amount of stainless steel. You see, there are, people who eat, random items, screws, stuff like that, and they do it in a way that it doesn't cause them harm somehow. I saw a television reality show about this. So, It depends on how much you're eating. If you're digesting stainless steel in a non-human manner, then probably. Zinc Adam, thank you for donating again. Ah, no 743. I guess I should take the chocolate I gave you back then. $743. No. I was going nowhere near the ant fountain, thank you. I want nothing to do with that. I do not like that, Sam I am. Alexandros the Great, thank you for donating again. How do you think they got a tracking chip in 4885? It can phase inside of you and kills you if you know where it is. Desk, check the mimetic filters. I know what he's talking about, and it's very dangerous. Oh, brother. Do. So, the way the tracking chip works is a sort of layers of reality situation. So the tracking chip is layered into the entity in its reality, meaning that when it phases, the tracking chip phases with it. I mean, imagine the same way that 507's, the reluctant dimension hopper tracker, works. It travels with him. It's the same with 4885. Denominator, thank you for donating again. 4521 is the tree I was referencing. How has nobody thought that it just screws with your brain? Well, first of all, we know for a fact in real scientific literature in the real world that trees and plants scream when stressed. When you mow your lawn, the blades of grass are screaming. When you break a tree branch, the tree yells. We know this to be true. And so, the fact that 4521 doesn't scream is obviously anomalous. And so, yes, if the tree's not screaming, then we know for a fact that it's anomalous and it's not messing with our brains. We just have to make it scream. Then it will be essentially neutralized or explained and everything will be fine. But, I mean, haven't you ever started a task and then you get annoyed because you can't finish it? You're just sitting there with a task half finished and you want it to be done and it won't get done and you're trying and you're sitting there and you have to take a break, but you know while you're taking a break that you have to finish this thing that's just waiting there. It's like that, obviously. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. You recognize the bodies in the water. I'm sending medical your way. Good luck. Dreamscape Traveler, thank you for donating again. Or for the first time this stream, I guess. If it's your first time this stream, then make sure to grab yourself some candy corn on your way past the commissary. Hello all, Dr. Sherman. How are you today? I am recovering from the wounds of yesterday's D-class shift. Okay. We're doing all right. God Center, thank you for donating again. Gave 682 the head pats. I mean, Lizard I was talking about. May want to set a team. Also downloading the Mallow. More head pats, even air pats. Oh, my word. All right, well, now you're going to have to go in a box because if you were able to pet 682 without perishing, then you must have some sort of anomaly to you similar to the child that it likes. So, welcome to Containment. Pugman Ultra, thank you for being a member. What if the tree is screaming so loud we can't hear it? Well, we can check the decibel meter and the frequencies. We can do that for regular trees and we can do it for this tree. I mean, if it were loud enough, it would cause issues with your hearing and your center of gravity. So no, that's ridiculous. We're not even worried about that. Terragal, thank you for donating again. Hi, I'm a researcher from another reality, and I'm here to worry about our accident and a diffusion of 3812 and 612 escaped. It might be in this reality. If there is a fusion of 3812 and 682, we are just legitimately boned. At that point, there's nothing to do. The only thing protecting us from 3812 is the fact that it doesn't really want to mess with us, that it just wants to be left alone. So if it had the humanity hatred of 682, we would just be donezo. So I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong. Is Thomas the Train an SCP? Well, Duncan, Thomas the Train Engine is... It's Thomas the Train Engine, right? Is that... Am I remembering that name wrong? It's Thomas the Tank Engine. That's why I'm confused. Okay, good, I'm back. So, Thomas the Tank Engine is a talking train. Obviously, that's anomalous. Now, it doesn't exist on the SCP database, so it's not an SCP, but it is anomalous. Denominator, thank you for donating again. By the way, during the time you took reading my donations, I stole a photo of 096 and I'm about to put it in some random SCP containment chamber. Well, we will find your corpse when 096 is done with it, and we'll put 096 back, and we will destroy that photograph. So, happy mauling. Anonymous, but no. Thank you for your, but not. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some iced tea on your way past the commissary. Hey, I thought I should ask you this, but how do you think Cecil Stedman or the GDA would interact with the SCP Foundation? Would they be an asset? So, in the Invincible universe, I highly approve of the job that Cecil Stedman is doing. That guy really has his stuff together on handling anomalies and superhumans. That being said, if the Foundation were a separate group of interest in the Invincible universe, obviously we would end up rivals the same way that we're rivals with the Unusual Incidents Unit of the FBI. Because that's basically what the GDA is. It's the UIU on steroids. So, probably like we do with the GOC or the UIU, we would have quibbles over territory and who works with what anomaly and philosophies on containment versus destruction. But we'd probably side with the GDA a lot more because they do tend to act as we do as the Foundation. They're just not as secretive as we'd like. We'd like to keep things secret, but you know what? In a universe where superheroes are all over the place, maybe the Broken Masquerade Foundation is the GDA. Vanilla Mint Swirl, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to get yourself a copious amount of sprinkles on your way past the commissary. We Kakuri Knights are not your enemy, but ally. I do not know what a Kakuri Knight is. I am worried about it. Do, 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 do. Well, I can't find anything in the database on a Kakuri Knight. If you're anomalous and friendly as you say, I'd like you to walk into a containment cell where we can interview you properly. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. If you looked at a picture of 096's face from a place so far away that light would take more than a human lifetime to get there, would you be safe? So, the problem with that is if you're that far away, it means you're going through space. And I would wonder at 096's ability to accelerate past the speed of light when given a straightaway. Because, you know, light doesn't deteriorate in space because there's nothing to block it. And so 096, who we know in one universe, dragged the sun toward the Earth. How much strength does it take to drag the sun? And how much does it need to do it from inside the sun? It's not as if you're pulling it with a chain. It was just in the sun, moving the sun. So 096 has some ludicrous speed and strength feats. I believe, given no obstacles, it could accelerate to a point that it would still get you, unfortunately. Angel Chobat, thank you for donating again. I got past the Flaming Guardian and the portal behind it. I can't remember what was in it, though. I'm going to have Desk and Clef debrief you on that. That sounds sussy to me. But if it really happened, we need to get that intel back, and I hope you look forward to a lot of testing involving Nestix, because we're going to wake up those memories one way or another if they exist. Jonathan, thank you for donating again. How would the Foundation deal with the Vought Entertainment firm, the guys who made the Homelander? So if the Foundation existed in the Vought cinematic universe, so to speak, it would probably be the same level of problematic that we have with the Invincible universe, which is in those universes, superheroes are common knowledge, celebrities even. And so the whole secrecy angle that we work for is kind of out of the bag. Not fully, because they know about superheroes and superhumans, but the people do not know about the other things that go bump in the night, probably. And so we would still have our role containing anomalies, Bigfoots, the Scarlet King and all that. It would just be behind the scenes of this superhuman world. So I don't imagine we would chase down anomalous humanoids very much as often, because that would leave us, you know, all superheroes are essentially anomalous humanoids. I bet we would spend a lot more time hiring them, though, if we could, and or running tests on them because that whole serum that they have going on. Just a heads up, chat, we are in the last 15 minutes of stream, after which I'm going to direct you to raid Alto Clef's Minecraft stream on Twitch at The Desk SCP. So, make sure to check that out when we're done. Whoa, chat's jumping on me. Eli Thomas, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a can of Coca-Cola on your way past the commissary. They caught me. We always catch you. We're just that good. God Sinner, thank you for donating again. To help with my filing, I give head pats, and to keep turning corners, I end up in new places with dead agents or other organizations. Your life sounds very eventful. You definitely need to be tested for some anomalous-ish going on with you. Seems suspiciously probabilistic anomaly-like. Dr. Pepper Dragon, thank you for donating again. Attention staff, a unit of SCP-207 is reported missing. Please be on the lookout for any individual suspected of being in possession of 207-1. Isn't that the cans of Coke? Or the bottles of Coke? Yep. Okay. Let's get that back before it kills anyone. Don't need another incident. Angel, thank you for donating again. They would have to catch me first. Trust me, we're very good at catching. You'll be fine. Catching anomalies. Not any sort of catching you might have had in your head. We don't fraternize with anomalies in one way or the other. Twinkle and Shardatron, thank you for becoming Site42 subscribers. C-Blog, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some... You can grab yourself some... We already did that. We already had that. Enjoy a chicken sandwich on your way past the commissary. Have we ever tried using a reality warper such as 343 to make the tree scream? Unfortunately, 343 refused to test with 4521. It just said, nobody, that's your problem to me. Like a douchebag that it is. And so other reality benders, we don't normally let them out on testing because of the problems they can cause. So unfortunately, that would be something I would like to try, but I don't have the clearance to make happen. Vanilla Mint Swirl, thank you for donating again. Doctor, would Frankenstein be considered an SCP? Well, Zane, Dr. Frankenstein would not, but bringing a monster back to life, bringing the dead back to life in pieces would be anomalous. So yes, Frankenstein's monster would be an anomaly. Not an SCP because it's not in the SCP database, but you know what I mean. David, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some delicious rice and beans on your way past the commissary. If you're not an SCP, why are you always in my head? Living rent-free, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. When you're focused on the Foundation, you're focused on your duty, you should always keep in mind your superiors and what they will think of what you're doing so you don't make any mistakes. That's just good Foundation policy. Eli, thank you for donating again. But for me to stay, I demand all the head pats and hot pockets. Rosie, can you handle the head pat section of that once you're done with whatever anomaly testing we're doing with you? And as for hot pockets, I'm sure the commissary has some on hand. Boom, what's happening here? Yes, Desk, I believe Dr. Frankenstein would be a person of interest because he has no anomalous abilities, except for that he can do anomalous science. So definitely a person of interest. Rand, thank you for donating again. Dr. Sherman, have you watched Indie Cross by Morrow? I am not familiar with that at all. I do not know what that is. It's an animated series. 6 million views. That's pretty good. Is this like Death Battle but a different crew? I'll have to check it out. See what's going on in there. Lord Dragonic, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a goat on your way past the commissary. Dragons eat goats, right? I'm sure they eat goats. Dr. Sherman, did you authorize playtime between 053, 999, and 682? Because I'm watching it happen, I'm starting to worry. Rosie had this idea, and we're just going with it as long as the site doesn't blow up. Rand, no, it's like Subspace Emissary from Smash. Well, I do love a good Subspace Emissary. So now I'm even more interested in checking it out and seeing what the crossovers are. Rosie, thank you for donating again. Doctor, I'd like to make some recent unpredicted anomalous effects with regard to my person. No sign they're related to recent tests. Any ideas? Make known some recent unpredicted anomalous effects with regard to my person. Well, if you're making them known, then I don't have any idea. You're the one who would have an idea to make them known. God Sinner, is Dr. Clef cross-streaming to YouTube? I can't use Twitch on my phone. I don't believe Clef is streaming on Twitch or on cross-streaming to YouTube, unfortunately. I believe it is Twitch only for now, but maybe in the future. The Black Cat, thank you for donating again. Now I'm curious how the Foundation will work with the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense from Hellboy. I'm not very much into Hellboy fandom, so I don't know a lot about it, besides, you know, the obvious. What I've seen from looking at trailers and stuff like that. But, you know, the Department of Paranormal Research and Defense sounds like the kind of thing we work with. I don't know their stance on containment and destruction, so that would be the kicker. Uh-oh. Don't have the YouTube cross stuff set, nor am I aware if you need, like, any limits to stream on YouTube. Desk, to stream on YouTube, I know you need a certain subscriber count and watch hours, I believe. So I would suggest starting to upload your VODs to YouTube first to get people something to watch and start subscribing and upping the numbers. And that would help you get yourself set up. We'll talk more on the back end on that. Angel, thank you for donating again. Well, I have to go. Don't have enough money to keep speaking here, so have to prepare for when the foundation finds me. Well, thank you for the donations you have. As always, make sure to take care of yourself. Don't donate more than your own means. By liking and subscribing and sharing the stream and Site42 videos, you are doing plenty to help Site42. So we appreciate all that you do for us. And don't worry, we will find you no matter what. So just take a nap. We'll catch you. Eli, thank you for donating again. Oh, and also I demand human souls. Now you're getting a little bit picky here, okay? We gave you some demands, but now you're stepping past lines. Is that Homant? Honant? Your little font is confusing. Honant, I guess. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. And make sure to grab yourself some Honey Nut Cheerios on your way past the commissary. Hey, Sherman, where's the 3 little birds that just appeared? I just had my eye. Here's the sound of the apocalypse bird. Uh-oh, shot. It sounds like you're in for a bad time, buddy. I would find a place to hide from the apocalypse. See if you can bail on that universe before it's too late. Dr. Sherman, how does the Creative Commons works? Well, Lil Ghost does stuff. The Creative Commons, there are a lot of different kinds of Creative Commons. And that is, so you got to decide on the one you're utilizing. The Foundation's version of Creative Commons is the 3.0 share-alike with attribution. This means that, number one, anyone is allowed to reuse your work as if you have given them permission. That's what the share-alike is. But only if you also release your derivative work with the same attribution. So if you use my story, that's fine. You don't even got to ask me. And you're allowed to monetize it. But you have to release your work via the same license so someone can borrow it from you as well. And so it's the sharing is caring mantra. And so it's the same reason Netflix and Amazon and all of them don't want to make an SCP show, and why the big AAA games like Control use their own version of the Foundation, because they don't want to share it the same way because copyright and all that. So that's basically a baseline. If you look at the SCP Wiki's licensing guide, it explains in deeper detail as well. Rosie, thank you for donating again. I see my writing was confusing. The anomalous effect appears to be centered around my person. I simply wish to know what you recommend, Doctor. Ah, I see. Well, if you sit in the containment cell quietly for a little bit, we will have medical come over and see what happens. That's the first step to all of these, is just having a check-in and seeing what happens and how to contain the problem so it doesn't cause problems for containment. So it's a sit tight and wait situation. Eli, thank you for donating again. Not even a Class D? No! Soulless Class Ds don't react the same as humans. We need their souls intact for testing. You know this. Zero, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some Pepsi Zero on your way past the commissary. Got lucky, Doctor. Another D-Class lost at Mario Kart. He was tasty. Note to self. Glad I didn't test with that anomaly last night. Excellent. All right, it is time for me to start wrapping up. So, allow me to start by telling you my favorite SCPs. Now, of course, these are not my SCPs that I have written. That would be cheating. They're like my children. I wouldn't do this. Instead, these are, if you want to read my SCPs, the ones I have created, then you can go to my author page on the SCP Wiki, the Sherm's author page in Site42 Hub. And you can see the SCPs I've worked on and or contributed to. On top of which, you can then, on your way past, become a patron or a channel member here at Site42 to help us support further and larger SCP content projects, as well as spreading the word of different content and games that we did not work on specifically, but are just helping to signal boost. The bigger we get, the more we can help the SCP community. That's my thoughts, at least. So, Cloud, thank you for donating enough to insult me. I've been called a tool a lot, and as a site director, you have to be tough with your people. So I'm sorry you feel that way, but get back to work. Bringer, thank you for donating again. You guys are trying to hold me up, I see. Researcher Bringer from Acrobatic Abatement Team of Site 62. The team over there was wondering when we're going to be seeing amnestics from 3000. Shipment is on its way. Don't worry about it. Shipments are on their way. And dihydrogen monoxide, a cup of all liquids. It says out of range because it can't mix things up. It's very picky about that. Okay, so my favorite SCPs, in no particular order, are 3999, 3043, 008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 5320, and with a big content warning, 8980. That one is really messed up. It's a good one, it's just really messed up. So one more time through, 3999, 3043, 008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 5320, and content warning for SCP-8980. Those are my favorite SCPs. Yes, RK-J does stand for joke. I do enjoy some joke SCPs from time to time. And so that is what I'm talking about there. Spooky-J and 008-J are pretty funny to me. I'm a fan. All right. And so with that, my favorite SCPs are set. I am going to sign off. I want you all who are capable of jumping onto Twitch to go check out Alto Clef Plays Minecraft at username TheDeskSCP. And for your raid message for Clef, you can say... Raid message for Desk. I would... let me check this real quick before I proceed. Yep, Desk is already getting ready and live. I would say... I've left my weapons at the door, I come in peace. I have left my weapons at the door, I come in peace. That's what you tell Clef, so he does not feel threatened. Because you do not want to threaten Alto Clef. Last donation I'm reading for the day. Samuel, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, right at the end. Make sure to grab yourself a cake pop on your way past the commissary. What do you think of your competition at the FBC? I respect the work they do. I think we do it better. I mean, we didn't have our entire site taken over by a godlike entity from another dimension. Not on my watch anyways. So, yes, but a very enjoyable game as well. Control is very fun. I look forward to the sequel that's upcoming. All right, so with that, I will adjourn you to the credit song, and I will see you all in the next stream and or video. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. Lying in my bed, I hear the clock tick and think of you. Caught up in circles, confusion is nothing new. Flashback to warm nights, almost left behind. Suitcase of memories. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time. Time after time. Nice to see you poke.